Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Today's podcast is sponsored by SLI Systems, providers of intelligent site search and navigation solutions. Learn more at sli-systems.com and listen to their interviews at ecommercepodcast.com. Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations with Pat Callahan, a weekly podcast focusing on e-commerce topics, featuring interviews with prominent people in the e-commerce space. And now here's Pat, joined by Sue Chapman of Mercado Software for part 2 of this interview.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations with Pat Callahan. Today we're joined by Sue Chapman, who is the Director of Merchandising Solutions at Mercado Software. Sue's team at Mercado is responsible for assisting customers in designing and implementing merchandising strategies to increase conversion rates and overall sales revenue. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you, Pat.
It's great to have you here, and I appreciate your time. Sue, the reason we're having this conversation is you are here to talk about how online retailers should prepare for the upcoming holiday season. And one thing I want to talk about before we get into that is I've been hearing about preparing for the holidays since probably end of June, early July.
I remember when I was younger, every day in our local paper they would have this little ad in the bottom left corner that said, 20 shopping days till Christmas. 19 shopping days left till Christmas.
Sure.
And when I started working in retail and then in e-commerce, I realized how much fear that instills in the hearts of retailers. Because as the days get closer, your strategies will change. At the beginning of the season, let's say the day after Thanksgiving is by far the biggest shopping day. The day after Christmas, everything's, you've prepared your landing pages, you've got all your recommendations out there, and you're really broad. It's very broad. And then as things pick up, you start running out of inventory, availability gets low on certain products, the shipping becomes more of a challenge. So you have to start getting creative in terms of modifying those landing pages to possibly make other recommendations. Because that microwave oven you could have shipped on December 1st for free shipping or for low shipping, you're not going to be able to ship, on December 22nd. So there's a lot of strategies, and they're very dynamic. You can plan for some of those things and anticipate some of those things, but some you can't recognize. So one of the things that we work with our customers on is, because the merchandising tool that we work with them on can be, you can make a change and have it go live, like in minutes. So if they realize they are running out of iPods, they have to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to recommend a different model? Am I going to recommend some kind of a substitute gift, or, buy a gift card, or, do I have a strategy for low inventory? Do I have a strategy for the products that I can easily recommend, that I've got high availability for, that I can ship quickly, that are lighter? I'm not going to recommend microwave ovens anymore. I'm going to recommend diamond earrings because I know I can get those to the customers. And usually you'll see, here's a group of products that you can have delivery by Christmas. And as you go onto the sites, you'll see that product group change based on availability and based on shipping options. Another thing that we're seeing very strongly in a lot of our multi-channel retailers is this buy online, pick up in the store. And so it's buy online, pick up in the store, and then and they're getting more flexible in terms of, like in our area, if I wanted to buy something at REI or Macy's, for example, there's lots of Macy's around me. There's like 5 or 6, and there's 3 or 4 REIs, and I can check inventory at different stores.
Let me ask you this, Sue. How big has online retail become?
I mean, I think last year they said something like, last year, Mark, maybe you've got some statistics on this. We can probably get you those statistics, Pat, in terms of Christmas 2006 as opposed to Christmas 2005. I think they said the revenue, the shopping dollars went up like 200% or something. We can probably get you those numbers.
Okay. That would be fine.
Is that something that would be useful?
Yeah. It's just something I'm interested in personally because it seems to get bigger every year.
That's absolute. It does get bigger every year, and it gets more sophisticated every year. And another thing that I think people, when I look at this Christmas versus last Christmas, there's some really strong trends that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That our customers are using that I know are going to be, that you're going to start seeing on some of these landing pages, some of these search result pages, and that would be, what do other customers buy? There are a couple of technologies that are the customer review technology where somebody buys a product and then they go and write a review on it and they give it sort of a star rating, 1 to 5 stars. And one of our bigger customers is Overstock.com. They're using this. Macy's is using this. REI has just started turning that on. So not only can they recommend what they think the merchandisers think customers will like, but they can also say, these are popular gift items from our customers. So if you're looking for, a men's dress watch, these are the most highly rated men's dress watches that everybody else liked.
I'm not surprised that is a trend because I absolutely look at those. I don't know how long Apple has done it, but Apple Computers does it, and I certainly look at those reviews from other customers anytime I buy a product online, if they're available.
I think it's really specifically really important in things like electronics, where you really need good service and support and performance. I think for things like sweaters and shoes, I mean, who really cares? You're going to buy what looks good, and you're going to wear it for a couple of seasons. But when you're paying hundreds of dollars on a laptop or an electronic device, or even high-priced, sports equipment like skis that are getting, into the really high price range.
I think those reviews are extremely important, so I think that's great to point that out. What else? What other trends?
From a merchandising perspective, we're seeing a lot of banners. I think you'll see a lot of banners where you'll see recommended products and really sort of elegant, image kinds of flash kinds of things. They really do a point of advertising recommendations and advertising top sellers and advertising customer selected products, especially when you do a search. If they're buying a gift to kind of really, help the shopper in terms of making a decision. Because, if you're buying a product and the first thing that comes up is, this is what all of our other customers liked, or these are our best sellers. If you're buying a gift, you probably go, well, that's good enough for me. I'm not buying it for somebody else unless they tell me exactly the brand and the model that they're looking for. I'm going to probably go with the best seller.
What else, Sue? Is there anything that I'm leaving out that we haven't covered?
Let's see. We get very specific, and I think it's probably more too granular for this particular interview, but I mean, we get down to what Google AdWords are they going to buy, and which ones do they want to buy, which ones do they want to bid on. When people do a search on Google and they go to their site, we work with them on creating really, really attractive, eye-catching landing pages that really try to close the sale and get the customer to make a decision. So we get pretty granular in terms of how to functionally, put all this merchandising in play. That's
Sure.
what my team actually does. So everything I mentioned to you about the landing pages and the recommendations,
Yes.
and, that's something we do. That's something we do with our tool.
Okay.
I could also give you a couple of sites to look at.
I would love to hear some sites to look at, and I'd love
All right,
for the people listening to get an idea of some of your work.
So if you, let's say, I'm going to take, now nobody's got their Christmas pages up yet, but I can show you what they look like now and just in a month or two, they're going to be totally Christmasized, so to speak. And I can show you some of our customer landing pages that I know will be really, really elegant and in their holiday festive best. So let me kind of find one that I wanted to show you.
Okay.
And I think the first one I'm going to go to is one of everybody's popular places to shop at Christmas time, and that's Sears, America's department store. Something for everybody.
You sound like you're bringing the page up. Are you?
I am. I was going to bring it up, and if you want to bring it up as well, that would be fine.
I will.
And I think one of the most popular things for Christmas would be something like television. So if you click on electronics, and it takes you to the electronics page, what you see there is some really attractive banners. You'll also see some, a link to televisions. Now, those pages that you see, that first electronics page, that department page, all of the merchandising that you see on that page, the banner, the featured items, the featured subcategories, that's all done through Mercado.
Okay.
All of those areas are sort of, a merchant can sit there and decide what banner do I want to place there. The featured items are normally automatically put in by bestsellers, but again, as Christmas gets closer, if they decide to change those featured items on a day-by-day basis, they can just go into a tool and pick different items. They can advertise different special subcategory, highlighted products from different subcategories under electronics. So those are the kinds of pages that I'm talking about when I talk about landing pages and being able to really, customize them on a day-to-day basis if you want to do that. Because, again, it gets into that, my availability is different than it was yesterday, or I've discovered something that yesterday that I didn't see the day before. People are searching for different types of products. And I want to be really flexible. I want to really be able to react very quickly to my market.
That's all the time we have for this week's E-Commerce Conversations with Pat Callahan. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for the conclusion of the interview with Sue Chapman of Mercado Software.